Yeah, you pick up the check. You fly me out. I'll go for a beer. You pick it up. You buy the beer.
This doesn't sound very nice. Like, is that a nice way to say I'll come for a beer?
Well,
it's, it's a beginning. It's a breaking of the ground kind of thing, We could try. How about, Rick, it's something like, Mr. Flair, I've always been a huge fan of yours. You're my favorite wrestler of all time. Go ahead and say that sitting beside Bret.
Mr. Flair.
Yeah, I want to ask a serious question to Ric Flair, if I can.
Really?
Who threw a better tomahawk chop, like a stiffer one? Wahoo McDaniels or Chief J Strongbow?
Wahoo McDaniels.
I'd have to second that. I thank you, Coach, for your journalism on that one. That was a good one there.
Yeah. I actually wrote the question for him, and I'm surprised he didn't insert the word blowjob accidentally.
I think Josh just kind of obsessed.
You guys are learning,
We're
coming
doing
a long way.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
it's a beginning.
Who do you
Part
think
of the healing process.
Who was the guy that saved the Carolinas? You or Thunderbolt Patterson?
Who do you think the next was?
I've always been. I know that Thunderbolt had a lot to do with sort of reviving things in the Deep South, and then there's people mention your name as being a guy that sort of turned North Carolina on its heels. So
Piper, maybe you should bring Bret on stage with you. He's a comedian, Bring him up on stage. He loves to be funny.
Well, hey, listen, Ric Flair is North Carolina, guys. Come on. Thunderbolt Patterson was big, but Ric Flair is North Carolina. We, credit where credit's due. I mean, they got a sign up on the post office wall and everything.
That's like saying, who's the man in Canada, Bret Hart or Whipper Billy Watson, huh? Huh? Who's the man now?
Oaksy. It's getting a little ginger for me. I got my daughter. I gotta go. I don't love you all. I'm out of here.
Love you, Piper. God bless you, brother.
You're a good man, Piper.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us.
okay, cuz take care. We'll be in touch.
That was Roddy Piper.
Yes, it was.
It was a good man. You like
he was
him.
a good man. Helped kind of bridge the peace between you and
Mr. Flair.
Mr. Flair.
Mr. Flair's still on the air right now. Are you still happy with me, Ric Flair?
Hello?
Do you like me now?
I'll never like you until you send me a check, big man.
Does
now,
it matter?
Who's better, you or Watson? Huh?
Well, I don't know because I never worked with Whipper Watson. I know that you probably worked with him a few times, but I never had a chance to. I didn't get I wasn't wrestling back in the 1940s, so I don't really know what it was like But I know that you were probably still breaking. You were probably still breaking in around that time.
What about Beef Wellington, huh? Beef Wellington? Huh?
Nah, I never worked with him either. No, I know that you don't. I know that you don't really, want to get too deep into the sort of the history of Southern wrestling, but it is true that you kind of revived the Carolinas back in the I think it was the 60s and the 70s. You were the guy that the go-to guy down there. What was it like wrestling the great Wahoo McDaniels and wrestling guys like the great Eddie Farhat and those types of wrestlers that were big names back in the 50s and 60s?
Like I said, I've been in the ring with them all. I've been in the ring with each and everybody, and I get the same respect for most guys in the business that I work with, but none for you, Bret. None for you. You got no respect for me. You never treat me with any respect. I've opened my hand many a time and left it open for you, but you ain't never biting. You ain't never shaking. You're the one who's got a problem with me. I never had a problem with you. You had a problem with me.
Mr. Flair, sir, is it fair for me to ask now, do you like me better than Bret?
I don't like any of you.
Okay.
Rick, what was it like working with Stanley as Zbyszko?
Bret, why don't you call Piper back and go be a funny guy comedian with him, huh? Why don't you leave me alone and go be a funny guy? I got partying to do. I'm a kiss stealing, wheeling, dealing, limousine rider, right, Rick?
Are you doing your dance right now and snapping your finger?
You're damn right I am.
All right,
I'm
buddy.
going to
You
have
have a...
on my phone when I hang up.
Okay. Well, you can do that right now. Thank you for joining us today.
No,
All right,
fuck you.
That's the boy. That's the Rick we know and love.
He's a good guy, eh?
Yeah, he's back on the team.
Yeah, he's
You notice how he never answered that question, what it was like to wrestle Stranglehead Lewis or Stanley Zbyszko. I think, though, when he was wrestling those guys, that was probably in his 10th or 15th time he was world champion.
Yeah.
And it's not easy when you win a world title 700 times to remember every match, especially when you're thinking like Jim Londos and Stanley Zbyszko and Stranglehead Lewis.